So we have Norley for and Norman, okay, for the coral reefs ecosystem, okay, together, so isa nyo gani ka grupo,
Irene Iligan, ma'am.
si Irene, no? Okay, we'll have Irene as well. Sige, okay, so you may proceed, guys.
Good afternoon, attorney. Good afternoon, classmates. We will be reporting the coral reefs ecosystems. So, what is coral? Corals are composed of thin plates or layers of calcium carbonate secreted over time by hundreds of soft bodied animals called coral polyps. Polyps range in size from a pinhead to a foot in length. Each polyp lives in a symbiotic relationship with the host zooxanthellae that gives the coral its color. Zooxanthellae take in carbon dioxide, process it through photosynthesis, and give off oxygen and other important nutrients that are then used by the host polyp. As in all photosynthesizing organisms, this means that corals must be exposed to a sufficient amount of sunlight. This confines most corals to shallow waters that are clean and clear. Next, zooxanthellae take in carbon dioxide, process it through photosynthesis, and give off oxygen. Ay, wait lang. Naghang. Wait lang gid, ma'am. Ay. There are two kinds of corals, hard and soft. Hard corals, scleractinia, such as brain, star, staghorn, elkhorn, and pillar corals, have rigid exoskeletons or corallites that protect their soft, delicate bodies. Soft corals or gorgonians, such as sea fans, sea whips, and sea rods, sway with the currents and lack an exoskeleton. What is a coral reef? Coral reefs are one of the most biologically diverse ecosystems on Earth, rivaled only by tropical rainforests. They are made up not only of hard and soft corals, but also sponges, crustaceans, mollusks, fish, sea turtles, sharks, dolphins, and much more. Competition for resources such as food, space, and sunlight are some of the primary factors in determining the abundances and diversity of organisms on a reef. Each component of a coral reef is dependent upon and interconnected with countless other plants, animals, and organisms. This means that fluctuations in the abundance of the one species can drastically alter both the diversity and abundances of others. While natural causes such as hurricanes and other large storm events can be the stimulus for such alterations, it is more commonly anthropological forces that affect these types of shifts in the ecosystem. For example, overfishing of herbivorous fish often results in increased growth of algae and seagrasses. This generally results in an increase in other herbivorous marine life such as sea urchins. Over time, all ecosystems will naturally establish these types of balances between predators and prey and organisms in competition for similar resources. The coral reef ecosystem is a diverse collection of species that interact with each other in the physical environment. The sun is the initial source of energy for this ecosystem. Through photosynthesis, phytoplankton, algae, and other plants convert light energy into chemical energy. A portion of this energy is passed on as animals eat plants or other animals. other animals. Coral reefs provide habitats for a large variety of plants and animals. These plants and animals rely on corals as a source of food and shelter. Sponges are found inhabiting holes in the reef. They remove small chips from the coral. These sponges, such as Clayona, cause deterioration in corals. Sponges inhabit corals for the purpose of protection from predators. Sea worms depend on corals for food. They feed on corals such as porites and agaricia. Shrimps and crabs depend on corals for shelter. Scented crabs form hole in some types of coral. Fish also depend on corals for protection against predators. One such is a parrotfish. Sea stars are coral predators. This crown of thorns starfish relies on corals for food. There are many other species of fungi, sponges, sea worms, crustaceans, and mollusks that bore into coral skeletons. Other organisms that inhabit the coral reefs include sea urchins, jellyfish, oysters, clams, turtles, and anemones. Where are coral reefs found? Coral reefs are found in shallow water. Coral reefs straddle the equator worldwide. Corals are found across the world's ocean in both shallow and deep water, but reef-building corals are only found in shallow tropical and subtropical waters. This is because the algae found in their tissues need light for photosynthesis and they prefer water temperatures between 70 to 85 degrees Fahrenheit, 22 to 29 degrees Celsius. There are also deep sea corals that thrive in cold, dark water at depths of up to 20,000 feet or 6,000 meter. Both stony corals and soft corals can be found in a deep sea. Deep sea corals do not have the same algae and do not need sunlight or warm water to survive, but they also grow very slowly. One place to find them is on underwater peaks called seamounts.
Ma'am, excuse me ma'am, pa-accept ko na si Sir Romeo Kumbiti.
Ay, sige, sige.
Thank you.
Coral reefs ecosystems. The Philippines is situated within the Coral Triangle marine biodiversity hotspot and supports highly diverse coral reef communities. However, Philippine reefs are exposed to many natural and anthropogenic disturbances. Consequently, mesophotic coral ecosystems have drawn increasing interest because of their potential significance as refugia or for many reef species. MCEs in the Philippines occur in a variety of settings, reflecting the wide diversity of reef habitats within the archipelago. MCEs remain poorly studied compared to shallow reefs, but preliminary investigations show that MCE sites support diverse ecological communities. Here we describe the physical features, biodiversity, and current condition of three MCE sites in the Philippines that occur in different environmental settings. Surge exposed fringing reefs at Patnanungan, turbid fringing reefs at Abra de Ilog, and the oceanic atolls of Apu Reef. These are the examples of reefs found in the Philippines. The Abra de Ilog is exposed to turbid waters due to two nearby rivers, and as a result, hard corals are not found below 30 meters. Apo Reef, an oceanic atoll, allocated within a marine park, supported higher abundance and diversity of benthic and mobile megafauna at mesophotic depths than the other two sites. And Pantanungan is dominated by rubble fields with high microalgae cover an indication of destructive
Wala
fishing
sa akin naman.
and overexploitation of herbivorous species and invertebrates. And this is our references that we get on the Google um with in regards with our topic coral reefs, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Norly. Okay, can you switch back the hosting to me?
Ah, yes, ma'am.
So I would just want to emphasize here that coral, the coral reef ecosystem here